And relax, you are now rocking with the best. And this time around, it's Snip and Synchro. Let's go! You can't stop, Synchro and Slipshock. You rocking with the homies of Asgard. You can't stop, Synchro and Slipshock. You rocking with the homies of Asgard. You can't stop, Synchro and Slipshock. You rockin' with the homies of Asgard. You can't stop, Synchro and Slipshock. You rockin' with the homies of Asgard.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is Scuffed Slipshock right here. We're here with Homies of Asgard with the co-host, Mr. Not Scuffed Synchro Champ, and the most drama-filled Canadian since I don't know any more Canadian between like the four that I know. So, what's up, everybody?
Welcome.
Hello.
I'm very excited. I want to take the time, first off, to thank Mr. Highruler here for really inspiring the topic of today's conversation. And also, before we dive into the good stuff, into the drama, into the sad stuff as well, I do want to just take a moment and ask you guys a question about superheroes and video games because, at the root of this podcast, it is what we are about, okay? But, I figured we'd just dramatically shift right after the first question because I think that's funny, So that's it. What we're doing, of course, is talking Twitch drama afterwards. But I want to talk really quickly about Iron Man. Mr. Highruler, how do you feel about that announcement? Did you see that? Do you think they would do that?
I actually feel really good about the announcement. I think Motive, they're the ones that are doing Dead Space right now. They're doing the remake, and by all accounts, that's coming along really well, and it should be pretty cool. I've never played Dead Space, but I've heard like really good things about this series, and it's been like recommended to me like a bunch of times. So I would imagine that if they're bringing that like same energy and passion to an Iron Man game, it should be nothing short of amazing, right?
Let's go. I hope so. I think they have the right genre there. They've said it's going to be like an action type video game. Third person, obviously, like you want to look at an Iron Man suit when you're flying around in one. Makes perfect sense to me. So I think they got all of the right pieces. So that's at least something to be confident about. Slip, do you have any feelings?
It's still EA behind it. So one good thing that we know from there is that all that wasted shit that Anthem had, we should get with that. And also, I better see this. I better see this suit in there at least once. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. But I definitely have to echo a lot of stuff that Mr. Drama Ruler here said. I do think that done well, especially as a third person action adventure, is going to do amazing. It's going to do a lot better than a few things we know.
I think the nice thing, I'm gonna say nice thing, but a lot of like the more interesting stuff is we're starting to see all these like Splinter games come my way now, right? So now we have the Captain America with Black Panther, then we have the Iron Man game. There was always those rumors of the Thor one, so I'd be interested if that kind of like still pops up in the next couple of years. I wouldn't be surprised somewhere down the line to see like another Hulk game pop up. I think like all these characters are too big to like never take a chance on again. So it's nice that, we're starting to see them kind of like materialize into their own projects. And yeah.
Good point, my friend. All right, let me pull up the list. Let's get into the real thing.
Pull the list.
Synchro's like, all right, I want the real topics tonight,
We gotta start with an easy one.
So you gotta put this one here and this one here. Because at this point, I'm sitting back all the drama.
Oh, you think? How educated are you on what's gone down on Twitch over the past 2 weeks?
Appreciate you, man. Have a good day at work, man. I was actually listening to Twitter Spaces a little earlier, dealing with like the ex-employees and that. If it's still going on after the podcast, you need to read that. Listen to that because they got a bunch of ex-Twitch employees in there, and some of that there Whew, man,
Mm.
talking about how um there's a lot of employees that left with like more mental health issues than they got when they got there. Partners being ignored, a lot of stuff. Excuse me.
Mm.
So
For
yeah.
sure.
Can I just go off? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. So like, here's the thing about Twitch is that like, so if you paid attention over the last like 5 to 6 years of Twitch, Twitch was like very much so like one of those like very kind of like chummy, everyone loves each other, everyone loves kind of what we're doing, kind of like company. And then you'll see things like for example, anyone who knows like DJ Wheat, for example, he left and he was paid out and all that rest of it, and just like so many of the other people. And then what you actually bring in is all these people who actually don't give a fuck about what Twitch is. They only care about what Twitch can provide, which is like the millions of dollars of revenue, right? Now, I mean, ultimately, that's kind of where a lot of businesses go. I mean, that's just kind of the state of where everything is. But the downside of that is that the people who actually care for the product, the service, the people are all kind of pushed out of the way, because a lot of that stuff doesn't actually make money in the way that you would want, right? Like a lot of that stuff, like being very partner centric, or being very much so kind of, looking at things that don't really drive a lot of revenue. Those ideas are kind of like, well, like if we do this, this actually will increase our revenue, which does this, right? And so I probably would agree with a lot of those ex-employees that like a lot of the people who were in it because they wanted to build like this very cool website. And for anyone who doesn't know, Twitch literally started because they wanted to get away from Justin TV and to make video games very cool. And then like MLG started and StarCraft started and then League of Legends, right? So like the whole founding of Twitch was all about kind of like broadcasting video games and broadcasting video game tournaments and all that sort of stuff. And now like Twitch is kind of like morphed into like a monster, in some ways good, some ways bad, but like the overall goal and the design of like Twitch is kind of like totally changed from what it was into what it is now. And I think like you'll see over the next like couple of years, if there's anybody who's like still left from like the good old days of 2011, 2012 up till probably 2015, yeah, they're out the door. They're totally gone.
Mm-hmm.
What I did see though, I don't know if you guys have paid attention to this, but I feel like I'm gonna jump the gun here on Synchro a little bit. But it's funny. It's funny enough because like so for anyone, I'm like really big into esports, and I used to be super huge. So there used to be an individual called Sir Scoots or Scott Smith who used to do a podcast every week called Live on 3. It was like literally like my college ritual every Wednesday at like 9 o'clock to watch it. And now he actually tweeted that Amazon is selling the whole thing of Twitch, not the product itself or not the website itself, but the ability to spin off that and actually make your own Twitch. And it's kind of interesting because like Amazon has like kind of double fisted themselves a little bit, right? So they've kind of like materialized in such a way that they're charging Twitch like X amount of dollars in order to use their services, but then they've actually taken what Twitch is as a foundation and they're actually selling that to like any company who wants to like try to build their own streaming website. It's kind of interesting watching Twitch get the double, or watching Amazon double fist, Anyways.
Yeah, that was not on my list, so I appreciate that. It is interesting that you mentioned the Justin TV stuff, though, right? Because like, the Twitch has been through so many changes where they went from like Justin TV, which was just a site with a dude that a dude created to stream his life, and then they were like, oh, let's focus on video games, and then there was another shift where when IRL streams started taking off, where they were like, well, maybe we need to focus back on that stuff a little more, and they just they're really good at.
And it's funny because like
decisions.
Well, it's funny because no one gives credit to this, but like the original IRL person was Ice Poseidon, right? And Ice Poseidon is not a good person. Even though like holy hell, some of his YouTube content was legendary. Like some of those streams, you know what? I'm not proud of it, but like Ice Poseidon YouTube streams were legendary. Like some of the shit you would actually see on those streams blew your mind, because you would tune into an Ice Poseidon stream and you never knew what you were gonna get, right? So when Ice started doing the Pokemon stuff, the Pokemon Go stuff, right, and then Wreckful was doing the Pokemon Go stuff, it was revolutionary in the way, because like you never knew what you were gonna get. They would walk around whatever city they were in, and it was crazy. Like I can't tell you how many hours of my life spent like watching these IRL streams, especially during the Pokemon time, because like you never knew what you're gonna get, right? So for example, for anyone who doesn't know, like you watch like the three of us, you watch anyone else, you probably know what you're gonna get, right? You're gonna get some video games, you're gonna get some laughs, you're gonna get some good times. But like walking around your city, like if Synchro and I were walking around Toronto, you never know where you're going to run into. It could be people, it could be situations, it could be whatever, right? Same thing with Slip. If Slip wanted to walk around his city, you never know where you're going to get. And that's kind of like where that revolutionary shift started. And like you've seen it kind of dial back a little bit because like now we're starting to kind of get away from a lot of that stuff again. But for a while, it was like super interesting what kind of seeing like the paradigm shift a little bit, you know?
You're absolutely right. Be a man to go walk around Hamilton.
I'm good. Sorry. I
I'm
like
good.
living. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather walk around the GTA and get punched by a homeless guy again. That'd be great. Anyway.
You never know what you're gonna get in Slip's hometown. Shot at.
Oh, no.
Walk around in certain areas with a backpack full of equipment if you want to.
Yep.
You ain't going home with that shit.
Okay, so to bring us back to when like things kind of started blowing up with the Twitch drama, we have to go back to, I think, 2.5 weeks ago at this point, maybe, where like Shit Camp had just been announced, which if you don't know what that is, was like a big streamer conglomeration at a campsite hosted by Cutie Cinderella, where a bunch of streamers were supposed to go, one of those being XQC. XQC at the very last minute announces that he cannot go by typing in his offline chat, which is not a great method of communicating with somebody specifically, because why would they have your offline chat open? That's crazy. So that is kind of the very first little drop in the overflowing water rain barrel that is about to explode. So XQC essentially was just like, yeah, I'm not going because other people aren't going and it's not going to be fun. That's basically what he said. Obviously, that's going to start some beef. And then also, that's just not the reason that he didn't go. He just totally lied about it. He was just like, yeah, I'm going to not go because of that, but also, like, he just couldn't actually tell his audience the real reason, which happened to be a breakup, which is a very genuine reason, and, like, you could have just said personal reasons, right? So that's, like, the initial start of everything, and then, like, it all like circles back to actually being something totally different, which is just crazy. And then they like go back and forth, the girlfriend and XQC, Adept and XQC, they go back and forth on stream for about like 2 hours, and it's like not chill. Like, they are fighting. I can't imagine getting into a fight with anyone on stream, much less someone that you at least at one point cared about, and not wanting to just hit the end stream button, or at least mute the microphone, you know? Like, you gotta at least mute the microphone. Fighting about what? Here's the thing. I didn't look into this beef at all because the relationship drama aspect of this didn't interest me very much. I feel like that stuff, at least from my perspective, should remain personal. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but like, I'm not gonna go digging into their personal relationship because I don't feel the need. That part of the gossip here doesn't actually interest me. But if you guys know more about it, do feel free to share. I just didn't go
no, I
into that.
actually I didn't know too much. My understanding, and maybe I'm once again jumping the gun, is that like apparently everyone was like shitting on X over like a bunch of stuff, and then finally X like snapped or something, and then that's how it all kind of started, I guess. But yeah, I don't know.
There was a bunch of shade thrown at X for canceling, and then like he kind of just like let it slip that it was the personal matter between his girlfriend and him that caused him to not go. And then from there, like, she made a response stream where she was like, yeah, this is actually everything that happened and why we broke up. And he responded to that stream, and then that started them fighting on stream together. And during that, Cutie Cinderella was like, oh yeah, that's a great use of your platform. Like, it got up to 120,000 viewers, which is an absurd number. Like, he usually averages around 60,000, which is already absurd, but to double that for drama, like, oof, that's a crazy number. And then they basically, like, there's some subtweets going around. People are giving him shit for using his platform like that. And, like, that's where most of the heat for XQC started to die down because other drama started popping up here and there, right? Like, it wasn't the precipice of the drama mountain that was this last couple of weeks. It just got crazy.
Yep. I think
So
the thing
yeah,
is
not
you
too
kind of
much.
you kind of answered your own question though about like why would you like not mute your mic or whatever, right? Because like I think the thing is that like there's certain like circles in Twitch, right? So like here's like the reality is there's certain circles in Twitch where like drama sells, right? Like it's content, right? Horn says it perfect. It's content, right? And like I like as a well-adjusted normal individual who doesn't live online as much as some of these people do, I couldn't imagine fighting with the girl I'm seeing online, right? Even if she was a streamer, I couldn't imagine sitting here and fighting with her and having and airing my relationship laundry out, right? Like similar for you two. Like I couldn't imagine doing that. But for certain individuals, right? And no disrespect X or Adept or whoever else does this, but
I'll disrespect X here. I don't mind.
go for it. Go for it. Like they look at it from like a different perspective, whereas like their whole life is broadcasted through the camera, which they feel like any sort of thing that happens, they have to like broadcast that part of their life, you know. And it's really weird kind of looking into it because like you kind of get the feeling that like sometimes I look at Twitch streamers and I look at some of the really big ones, right? So I look at someone like X, for example, or I look at someone like Soda Poppin, who have broadcasted so much of their life online. Like Soda's been streaming since he was like fucking 13. And he is like 27 now, right? Like all the way back in like the X Fire days. And there's just so much of their life that is there on the internet. And so like how much of their life can they like literally disconnect from the internet? And how much of it has now been molded into the internet? And for them, how do you cut down the middle in order to be like, this is my personal life and this is my Twitch life? The problem is like it's like this, right? So like the real answer is like, you know, he got 120,000 viewers arguing with his ex-girlfriend, and the other part of it is he doesn't know how to disconnect himself from that part of his life, you know.
That's a great point. That makes me feel bad, actually, because like I don't know, I would I would without hesitation at least hit the mute button, and the fact that it can go through a person's head to not think that is
Sure, but like
terrifying,
so
almost.
so like you have to look at it from like our perspectives though, right? Like we like you and I we're not streaming 37 hours a day, right? We're not doing this the whole time, right? Like
It's true.
I'm not pulling 24-hour streams. You're not pulling 24-hour streams. I turn off the stream and I go have a life. I go have this, right? You turn off the stream, you go have a life. You go have your girlfriend. You do all this. There's you know, our lives aren't in this box that sits in front of us. Our lives are out there. For these guys, their lives are the box, right? It's there. And I think like it's sad in some respects, but I think there's a little bit of that trade-off as well, right? Like they can stop streaming tomorrow, they're fine, right? Their lives are
Yeah.
set, right? You and I stop streaming, well, you know, we're going back to that regular day job that we got, right? Like it's a trade-off, I think, and I don't know if I'd make that trade-off, you know?
It's a scary one to make. I agree. This is an interesting point, Ethan. Did he maybe think his shadow backups would be inclined to win the argument? I hope not.
Well,
It's possible.
that's
But like,
I do believe that would be what it is because especially if you're always in the normal like it's second nature to mute your shit, you know, especially when you're doing that thing. It's sometimes, especially if you're doing like getting on the phone or things like that, it's like second nature to you to mute the microphone because you know that that's not something that you specifically want to have out there. Can't tell me he intentionally like forgot to mute his mic.
No, I
wanted
just
that
That's
don't. I
definitely
just yeah. He just yeah. He definitely wanted it broadcasted. The thing about like X is like the juicers are crazy, right? Like juicers are only
Yeah.
topped by like K-pop stands in all actuality. Like juicers are like they're a step down from what Ice's old fans used to be, right? So like Ice Poseidon fans used to be nuts, right? They used to be absolutely like rabid animals. And juicers are like the tame version of that. So like it's probably true that like X probably wanted his chat on his side because I think like a lot of the time like streamers want their chat to like love them, right? So like you know your chat molds you just as much as you mold chat, right? So you're more than likely going to say something, you know, especially if you're not interested in conflict, where you're going to be like, okay, what can I say for chat to be like lol w, you know, dubs in chat, right? Like, and that's just the kind of the way it works, you know.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
just rough that the level of platform that he had was kind of used for that.
Yeah.
Like I get it. That's what the content that X puts out is largely just his life most of the time because he is live so often. So like in that respect, I totally understand why he would stay live, I guess. But the amount of people that were in there is just like such an absurd number.
Welcome to Parasocial Andes.
Very true. Very true. I can't say I haven't been there. That's for sure. Just not with this one. But yeah, he got kind of lucky, I guess, that a lot of the heat got taken off of him because a streamer that goes by the name of Slicker was outed for being a massive fucking scammer, which was pretty rad. In the opposite direction of rad, in fact. Yeah, so basically what happened there is Slicker, apparently huge gambling addict, reaches out to friends, streamers, connections for money, lying to them about what it's for, continuously goes down that road, ends up asking viewers for that kind of stuff, which is just like a crazy misuse of your platform. And that's how it all came out, is like a viewer, your viewers talk, obviously, you have a community, that's what it's for, and they're like, wait, he asked you for money? He asked me for money. This is weird. This is something weird going on here. And then there's a bunch of, I think, clips and streams of like videos that he sent people on one of the viewers' channels, is my understanding of how it came out. And then like people in the bigger circles start talking, and they're like, wait, he asked me for money, and and all the big streamers are like, hold on a damn second, and they start putting the pieces together.
Yeah,
Yes,
this is
absolutely.
like.
Hey, Highruler, can I borrow $2?
Yeah, for sure. Man. I got you. This. You know what this reminds me of? You got like everyone knows that one dude who has one girl and fucks around with another girl who fucks around with another girl, and like all it takes is like the one conversation and the whole fucking tower of cards starts falling, right? And that's literally all it took for this, is that like it's one conversation and the whole thing just topples over itself, which is just absolutely crazy, like absolutely nuts.
Very true. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Wait, stop. What are we talking about? Am I getting?
It ain't me. Shit.
What's me? What? Okay, I don't know
Oh,
what we're talking about,
man.
but that's okay. But yeah, basically, like that drama overshadowed the entire XQC drama. It led to this huge push where, people like Pokimane were tweeting out ban gambling on Twitch, even though Slicker's gambling did not happen on the platform. People were using it as a way to drum up a conversation that I admittedly think has a lot of validity to it, to ban gambling off of Twitch as a platform. And
sorry, keep
you
going.
disagree, that's fine. But yeah, basically that started a movement, and a lot of people were also, I think X and Ludwig hopped into like a deal to pay back a bunch of the people that were influenced by the gambling issues, which I can understand, but also like a lot of those people, the viewers, I understand. A lot of those people were already rich though, so like, sure.
So I actually don't disagree about the gambling thing. I think like these like super shady crypto slot casinos that were running rampant on Twitch for like the last like 2 years actually do need to get the fuck out. There's like the way they operate, the way they like license, the like where they're licensed is like fucking so shady. It's disgusting. I wouldn't be surprised in like 10 years to find out there was like, like all the Counter-Strike stuff, where like back in the day there was like the Counter-Strike stuff, and all these different streamers had like ownership of this site, and then it starts kind of coming out that like all these guys had like fucking odds that were kind of skewed in their favor, right, to make them fucking seem like it was like, oh, everyone could win. The reality of gambling is not everybody wins. The reality is that like you're gonna fucking lose. What kind of seems shady to me, and this might be like the first hot take I give tonight, I actually don't like how like these streamers like basically like took this thing and were like, now it's time to ban gambling, guys, like, because like it just feels fake. And like I feel like So I think this drama actually dials back a few, like a little bit, because like apparently like Ms. Kiff was like offered a sponsorship for gambling, and the only reason he didn't take it was because it wasn't like a high enough number for him or some bullshit. Like the problem with like
Yeah.
the problem with like these bigger streamers, is that like I think a lot of them are actually just like self-centered assholes, and to be fair, I mean, I guess to get to where you are, you probably have to be. And I feel like they just jump on any opportunity to kind of like push their movement. Now, the question is like when they push for something like that, does like the benefit outweigh like the incessant bullshit of like seeing them kind of, you know, champion that cause? For this one, probably, you know, but like it also just reads off of like fake, right? Like, does Pokimane actually give a fuck about gambling on Twitch? Right? Like, does she actually give a fuck?
No.
Probably not, right? But like, is the cause that she's pushing still evidently good for the platform as a whole? Sure. But does it still rub me the wrong way seeing her be like, we have to ban gambling on Twitch? Like, yeah, it's just fuck. Sometimes I hate these big streamers who like champion these causes when like reality like they don't care, right? Like they don't give a fuck. You know, and it's just like I don't know, like it kind of bugs me, but on the other side of it's like, okay, like if the ends justify the means, go for it, I guess, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. A lot of chats being like referencing hate raids, referencing that kind of stuff with like other problems
Oh
that Twitch
yeah,
has that we
let
should
me
be also addressing, which is very
yeah.
true.
So like here's the thing too. Here's another hot take. Weren't a lot of these streamers too being like, oh, like a day off streams would never work. We can't do that, guys. It'll never bring the right attention. And then weren't some of them being like, hey guys, we should really take a day off streaming. Like, you know, this is a really big thing, right? So like where's the energy, right? Do like these days where you take a day off streaming to really send a message actually work? Or do you not care about these other issues enough to really kind of put the money where the mouth is, and you're just gonna be like, it'll never work, guys? Like at that point in time, like which bucket are you gonna hold there? Are you gonna hold the one about like the transphobic racist issues that like, you know, was spreading over Twitch for a long period of time and still are? Or do you only care about this gambling thing because like it's the new hot fresh drama that you actually give a fuck about, or you don't give a fuck about, you just give a fuck about the attention? Go for it, Slip.
They only cared about that because it's hitting their money. That's the only reason why it's affecting their money. It's affecting their bottom line. Because like somebody said on here, which I'm like, at the time I wasn't really I was annoyed to hear it, but it was basically like not dismissing your claims about Twitch, but it's only because when it came to gambling and children and laws, it's logical for Twitch to act quickly to adjust their policy to cover their ass. Which okay, I do agree that. But when a big, and not just small, a big percentage of your community, of your content creators are being targeted by hate raids, and it took you over 8 months to do anything that may be close to helping. If literally, if a lot of these people did not have to like to stream to survive, if they left, that would be just a bigger amount to their pockets than the few content creators at the top that say they might leave, because they're gonna do that one day. They'll lose couple maybe a couple 100,000 to maybe a mil at the most, and then they'll get back to it. And then because they did it, because they supported that cause, they're gonna the company, like the creators, are gonna get that in tenfold, because they're gonna see people, oh my god, what, you actually, you respect that, and you actually support that, and then people who didn't normally watch are gonna watch. People who normally sub, they normally sub. So it still affects them. It gives them money more versus helping out marginalized creators, whether they be Black, POC, LGBTQ. Those are the people who actually needed the help back then, and they like it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. I remember one person, I said, and I just seen Artie, and I get it, love you. You what we talked about this once before. I've seen one person say, there's not enough big people in that fight, so I wouldn't put my name to it.
Yep.
And it's like, you could have been the big person who brought the name to it, but you're already saying right there that you're a follow leader ass. You're not, you don't care. Just you're gonna follow the leader. If somebody's big gonna do it, then you're gonna do it. That's just how that felt. I'm sorry if it whatever happened beforehand, whatever happened after. That's how it felt when people are asking, "Hey, we really need some help because our livelihoods are being affected. Our people are getting hate rated, getting doxxed and things of that nature." And it's like, well, there's not enough people into it, not enough big people into it, so I don't really care. It's not gonna work.
Just really quickly, what's Chelsea doing over there?
Pans.
No, so
Throwing pans at them.
To follow your point, Slip, I think it's just it speaks to the volumes of like what people actually give a fuck about, right? People don't care about like, and I'm gonna say this, holy fuck, please don't cancel me because I actually don't listen. Anyways, like people don't give a fuck about like the black streamer community on Twitter or on Twitch.
You should let me say that though. You should just text me.
No. It's cool. It's cool. It's fine. They don't give a fuck about like the trans creator streamers on Twitch, right? They don't give a fuck about any of the marginalized communities because at the end of the day, like these communities are they're a small pond in a big ocean, right? So they just, to a lot of people, they're like, yeah, whatever, fuck it, right? But like when it's this gambling thing and all the top streamers, it's like, oh shit, like this is crazy, guys. It's like it just reeks of like some of the most absolute bullshit ever. And I hate the people who are like, one hand it's not gonna work, and then the other hand's like, this should work, guys. Let's do it. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Suck my. Anyways,
it's like one person who I really, really had like a fondness over as a creator he put this long ass like 13-minute video about why it wouldn't work, and I'm just like, bro, how about you just make a video to raise awareness? Not saying why it wouldn't work, because at the end of the day, it would not. It's like you're still going to bring awareness to this particular issue, whether you like it or not. Now, the issue is that when you bring awareness to this issue and it's being brought up, what side are you in on that? If you're trying to be naysaying or whatever, and it still happens, people are going to look at you and people are going to notice that once things do happen, as it did 8 months from then, people still look at that like, man, I don't know if I can really mess with that person because of that, because just how you're in action or you're straddling the fence about it. And it's like, I can't straddle the fence about this, man. This is affecting a part of my life. It's not like, oh my god, I'm gambling. 16,000 people are not going to come to my stream because they're too busy over there doing the gambling stuff.
Yep. I think it's just it and once again, like I think the problem is like I don't want to downplay like the issues of gambling, right? Because like I firmly believe that like, and I've seen a lot of stupid hot takes on Twitter. So Heel Mike, you're actually a big fucking idiot, by the way. So I've seen a lot of stupid takes about how like you have to have a little bit of personal responsibility towards like your own ability to like mitigate what you do. And to be fair, there is a little bit of truth in that, but at the end of the day, like a lot of this stuff is actually like an addiction. So in saying this, I don't want to like say like it has to be one or the other. The idea being that one idea is in essence only good for one of these but not the other is where the fault lies, while both are still an issue. I think that's the point to take away is that like, both of these are probably things that you should raise awareness about. Sure. And some are going to affect different communities than others, but if you're going to virtual signal for one thing, at least be consistent with your virtue signaling and say like both are bad and we should probably do something about both,
Mm-hmm. Fully agree. That's you summarized my thoughts very well. So I appreciate you for being a voice for me in this.
No problem. I'm happy to do
it's
that.
It's like you guys are connected.
I would like to be. I keep hearing Synchro say he wants to be connected physically, and I'm just waiting for him to tell me when to come over.
Anyway, Slicker Drama also raised, but there were not only streamers that were like, yeah, screw gambling. You had people like Trainwrecks, for example, come to the defense of gambling, maybe try to sway the heat to a different direction. Maybe even, you could say, try to... I think honestly, I think I don't know shit about train wrecks. I gotta preface this statement.
Ooh, okay.
But I think that there you could look at it a couple of ways with the tweet that he put out directed towards Mizkif, who was
Oh my
almost
God.
certainly
Yes.
virtue signaling. With his stance on gambling, he was very much like, I'm gonna go fully hard against this gambling stuff. I want all of the impressions, basically.
Yes.
Was very much what he was doing. It's pretty clear. I'm looking for the actual tweet, if anyone knows.
Yeah, it's somewhere. Train wrecks, TV.
I'm
Mizkif
looking.
Tweet.
About the corrupt motherfuckers and whatnot.
Yeah,
Is it this one? Are you gonna send Maya and Mitch to railroad and blackmail me like you
Yes.
did those girls to cover up all those sexual assaults? You fucking scumbag piece of shit. You want to come at me and make shit up? Then you better be sure you don't live in a glass house, you insecure pussy.
Yeah. So that tweet was directed at Mizkif after he was accusing Trainwreck of a coin related like scam type thing related to all of the gambling scam drama. And Train, not holding back at all. There's a couple of reasons that I think that he went off like that. Like one, he's genuinely upset about this like being pushed down. Because the drama is old. It's months old that this is, and it's resurfacing because of this Trainwrecks tweet, which I think is a good thing that we're talking about it still. But also, like, it could just be to, get the heat off of gambling, which, for reasons we'll talk about later, didn't work. Also, probably a good thing. But regardless of the intention behind the tweet, it got people talking. It got people digging into what that tweet meant. And it came out that Mizkif has, repeatedly downplayed sexual assault allegations against his friend crazyslick, which are now being talked about much, much higher profile than they were when they occurred originally.
So there's like some updated lore on this, and I haven't actually watched like all of Destiny's stream yet because Destiny had XQC and Trainwrecks on. So like there's actually like literally like hours old updated lore on this one. So like I think that what has happened is that like it's tough because like without saying too much of the updated lore, I don't know 100%. It feels like, now I'm going to preface this by saying feels like, because I could easily watch the video tonight before bed and kind of like have to walk all this back. It seems like instead of sexual assault, it's just really fucking creepy behavior. Now everyone's line of that is going to be very different. But it feels like it's not full on like sexual assault. It's just like full on like kind of creepiness.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the true updated lore. I know there was like all this debate going on in Destiny stream. I literally tuned in today right as like X and Train like ended the conversation. And I missed it and I was so pissed. And I kept watching instead of going back and going back into the VOD. So
what I can
don't
do
know.
is read some of the messages I have
Yes.
from Crazy Slick when I find them. I had them just a minute ago. Hold on, maybe I have the tab open. Nope, I'm not smart enough. But basically Crazy Slick had a bunch of really incredibly creepy DMs that
Yes.
I know where I can find these. Here we are. So basically the initial victim that was being referenced in the Trainwrecks tweet has been retweeting a bunch of other victims' DMs, which is huge. I will find it. I cannot. But they're very, very creepy DMs. Very, very weird things to say.
Oh yeah,
very,
the guy's a creep.
Chats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's creep. He's like legitimately a creep. Like anyone who actually does that, yeah, you're like legitimately a creep, right? Like the multiple unwanted advances, the multiple messages. Wasn't there like there was one stream that popped up on my Twitter where like he kept asking her for like leg pics and thigh pics and all sorts of stuff, right? Like the guy's legitimately a creep. Like there's no debate on that one for sure.
Yeah, he's like classic, weird. I'm really basically an Amaranth viewer that has a lot of popularity. If we're gonna go there, I guess like he's just one of those guys that's really really invested in most women that come across them in their regular lives, which is an unhealthy way to act around women.
Yes.
At the minimum. I'm looking for one that's like.
I think the thing about what Train has said about Mizkiv, because like this, I feel like this drama has now morphed from like Slick and Adriana and like the sexual assault and all those allegations, and it's almost turned into like Trainwrecks has like tried to weaponize this against Mizkiv, right? Which is like a whole other fucking side of this ball game that is being played right now. And it's kind of crazy to watch it all kind of like, you know, take part, I guess. Sorry. Anyways, you were looking for.
It's crazy. The amount of stuff that's happened is just like unparalleled levels. I've been around on Twitch since, as a viewer, since like 2012, 2014, and like I've seen the first community I ever joined Twitch for canceled. The community I latched onto directly after that canceled. Like I've seen my fair share of Twitch drama.
Do you want to like say these streamers just so we're all aware?
I guess. The original in was Cryotic, and then it went to Arcadum, who was a D&D streamer.
The DM guy.
Yeah, and then from there, you know, it's just like I had bad taste apparently. And Gus Johnson, that's not Twitch, but you know, it is how it is.
You had problematic. I just had like Ninja, so.
I mean, there's that.
That's
too,
much
like,
better. It's just a little cringe, maybe.
A little bit, you know.
For now.
Grown ass man watching Ninja, yeah, okay, yeah.
You're fine.
Now,
okay, here's.
So that's
I might not be updated.
That's the reason why that was the better choice. When I was
see.
Ninja to be a Dr. Lupo fan.
Yeah, it's a better choice.
So one of the like most crazy slick DMs that I found is like him being like, "Hey, can I send you a dick pic? Consent?" And then she's like, "No," and then he's like, he doesn't send it, which I guess is something, but then he goes on like a rant about sexually assaulting this person in public the next time that they run across each other, which is intense to say the least. Like, why would you DM people these things? It doesn't make any sense. It's unhinged.
It's total like incel vibes, right? So like we've seen a lot of these people kind of rise up recently, and like it feels like there's a lot of like this whole thing coming to grips with like women aren't just meant to be like there to be sexual towards, right? So a lot of people are just like, "Oh, you're a girl? Of course you want to see my cock," right? And when the reality is, no, they don't want to see it. They don't give a fuck, man.
Do you want to see your cock? Probably not.
Listen, I look at it and I'm like, God damn, am I disappointed in myself? You know, like it's like, and think of that as like a woman. Like no woman wants to see it, right? Like it has a usage, it has a purpose, and that purpose is not to be sent over Snapchat going, oh, let me just send that. Hey, baby, you're gonna really love this. No, she doesn't want to see it, dude. She wants to experience it. But the problem is that these guys don't even get to play that game because they're so stuck in like the part of like women. I love women, you know? And it's just like, dude, just fuck off. Like, just stop being a fucking weirdo loser, you know?
I don't think we understand, like we even like captured the beauty of that, like the beauty and ironic of that what Rainmaker, chill, what are you doing?
What?
Of him asking for consent to send some shit nobody wanted, and then once consent was rejected, it's like, okay, I'm going to do something that's completely non-consensual. Sir, what are you?
It's like the narcissistic behavior of like, you know, I'm gonna ask the question, but I already know the answer, right? So in his head, The question was, can I obviously send you a picture of my dick? The answer in his head was obviously yes, which would lead into her sending stuff back, which would lead into them hooking up, right? So like he's already 6 steps ahead, but he hasn't even left the gate yet, right? So when obviously he gets to the question, which is step 1, and the answer is like no, to him it's like, you're saying no to me? Are you kidding me? Right? And because he's never even considered it. He's never considered the fact that someone doesn't want to see that. And it's totally just absolute no chill behavior, like whatsoever, And like the problem with this is that like this is actually like, I don't want to say it's like normalized behavior, but like it feels like it is, because like it feels like you always see, like women and, ladies talk about like their experiences on like social media, or meeting a guy off Tinder, or meeting a guy off anything, where it's like the first like 10 messages are probably going to include some sort of like, hey, you want to add me to Snap, with the intention of adding the Snap being like, what else, right? So like, so it just feels like, there's this shit is like so annoying, because like sometimes I look at the way like gaming culture has kind of like normalized misogynistic behavior. And like I feel like we're coming back around to that. So for a while in like 2016, it felt like gamers were like super gamers, right? Like capital G gamers. And then like it kind of faded away. And now in like 2022, it feels like we're kind of coming back to the misogynistic behavior. And like the problem with that is like sometimes it's fun to make dark jokes, right? It's fun. Like I'm not gonna say I don't walk the line. Slip has heard it. Synchro's heard it. If you've heard me in a private call before, I've probably said some super fucked up shit that is probably funny, right? The problem is that if you're a public person who has a public platform, you can't make those jokes, right? Because like there's going to be someone who's going to hear that shit and it's going to get normalized in their head. And because of that, you're going to be perpetuating this absolute dog shit behavior that these people are like normalizing, right? So you have someone like Slick, you have someone like Andrew Tate, you have all these people, and it's just normalizing this behavior. And I feel like in 2022, I've seen the rise of like misogynistic behavior again, and it's super disappointing, because like it just feels like we're just repeating the same bullshit from 5 years ago, and it's so fucking annoying,
Well, because people, what tends to happen is people, and I promise you, when I say this stuff, it's not targeted at anybody, but if you think real hard, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That they have this like very sheltered mindset, and it's always the snowflake shit. It's like, oh, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, you're obviously a snowflake, and it's like you're the one bitching about being told not to refer to women as this, or listen to women's voices when they're talking to you about their particular issues, something that you have no idea about, something that you have no like qualms with at all. You have no dog in the fight, so you should be listening instead of what? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing going on, and there's no divides between men and women in 2022.
Yeah. It's super disappointing. I'm just gonna walk something back. Apparently, okay. So I'm trying to do my research here as I talk about this. So it seems like, so I said that apparently Slick didn't do anything like sexual, like assault. It apparently was. So my understanding was that like the story had kind of morphed a little bit. Apparently the story hasn't morphed a little bit. It's been like everything around the story is morphed, which impaired my judgment. So apparently it was like he did actually go and like touch her boob under the false pretense of like checking her pulse or whatever. It's just, so like apparently I had tried to like do research on the spot. My research was wrong. Apparently he did do that. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense. And like the situation that Trainwrecks was alluding to with Maya and Mitch Jones, like going there, Maya did like a little stream. It's about 20 minutes, where she talked about that from her perspective. The validity of it is to be up to whoever goes and seeks out that information. I urge you to do so. Do your own research, form your own opinions. It's very important, especially online in this day and age. but take in as many perspectives as you can.
Mm.
But essentially, what happened is they went to Adriana after that occurred, and tried to talk the situation through with her and figure out what happened. And them being Maya, especially being a larger creator, that could be taken in like a we were sent to hush you kind of way, which is very likely how Adriana felt, which is not a good situation to feel like you are in for anyone. That's for sure.
Yep. So I actually just want to talk about something really quickly because Stardust actually brought up like a good point, right? So like for a long time, my chat was like, we hate women, right? Like we hate women, right? And the problem is that like some people get it and some people don't, right? So like I actually had to sit down my chat and be like, listen, like we can't really make these jokes anymore because like you'd have people coming in and be like, what the fuck are you saying? Without understanding like it's a joke, right? And I think like that's the problem nowadays. And like it's not necessarily a problem. The problem is that like things that could be taken as like dark humor are actually taken as like real shit, right? So I just wanted to address that because like as I said, anyone who's seen me off a stream, yeah, I'll say some shit. It's fun. It's fine. Whatever. On stream though, it's got to be changed. But yeah. To your point though, Synchro, when it comes to like the hush part, like if I was ever in a situation, and like I was like a victim of something, and then like the perpetrator's friends came to my house and be like, yo, like, like to talk to me. I don't know how I wouldn't come away from that conversation feeling like someone's trying to fucking shut my mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a weird situation to be put in, and
The thing too is that like in part of like Destiny stream today, Sneeko and Abba, which Sneeko is a fucking idiot. Abba is like whatever. We're kind of questioning Train because Train was saying that like Mizkif was like orchestrating the whole cover up kind of situation, and he told Mitch and Maya and whoever else to go over, and like the problem with that is that like I feel like there's so much bad blood between like Mitch and Train that like it's hard to kind of separate the fake reality from like the truth, right? Like I don't know if I trust Train to tell a coherent story start to finish. But like does it also sound so far out of the realm of possibility that I disbelieve it? Like it's one of those where it's like could have Mizkif done that? Yeah. Could Train also be bullshitting his way through this? Yeah. And like that's the problem with like this drama in particular is that like wherever side you fall on, it almost feels like you can look at the other side and be like, yeah, maybe, maybe. And that's at least my problem with all this because like I feel like that if Train and I'm pretty sure as part of that call, Train and X were like bringing up like this call and all this shit. I think the problem is that like if you don't have anything to back that up, like those allegations. So for example, if Miz was really kind of like telling Maya and Mitch and all those people to go over and to orchestrate that cover up, you got to at least have some sort of proof of that, right? Because like if you're trying to bury someone, bury them, right? So like for example, if I'm going to go after someone and I know they did something wrong, if I'm not ready to bring out the logs, I'm not going to do it, right? Like because like at that point, it's my word over theirs, right? But if you bet your ass I'm going to go after you, that whole fucking shit's coming down. I have logs on everything at that point. I'm going to burn the bridge. I'll burn every single bridge I have to make sure your ass gets buried. And I feel like a lot of the time in streamer culture, it's like, oh, I'm just going to say this and, chat's going to back me up and it's totally fine. It's like, no, if you're going to make some serious allegations, you fucking bring the fucking heat with you or else you shut your fucking mouth and sit the fuck down. And I feel like sometimes with like Train and all these other people, it's like, I'm just going to say shit because it's cute and fun. It's ha 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 ha,
Yeah. And I think what it is also is because some people, they know that the things they bring up, like if you're gonna, like you said, if you're gonna accuse somebody of something, you want to bring the heat. A lot of times, they can't because it incriminates them too much too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
and it's
100%.
Maybe like I've said before, I'm 33 years old. I've said a lot of fucked up shit when I was younger. I've said a lot of fucked up shit, in my early 20s. But the issue is, I've never said anything that I was afraid it happened to come out in any type of situation, because time frames. I'm not the person I was back then, and if it's something that ever had came up, yeah, I will own it and take it up. A lot of people don't want to own that shit. A lot of people. I didn't mean like that. I didn't say that. I didn't mean like that. Yes, you did. You did, because you thought it was acceptable at that time.
Yep,
Now
I
it
think
is not. What it never was. It never was acceptable. But now that you're getting heat under your ass, it's like, no, you guys are misunderstanding and
well,
trying to gaslight the shit out of people.
yeah, I think the thing is like there's something to be said for like growth, right? So for example, if someone had a like a log of me or like a recording of me from like I don't know, I'm 29, 2022. I don't know. Let's go like I was 16, right? Someone had a video recording of me saying some dumb shit, right? Yeah, I was 16, like I'm going to own it. I'm going to say I'm not that same person. It is what it is, right? Like shit was fucking said, shit happens, whatever, right? But I think there also comes a time too where it's just like if it's like 2 weeks ago, bro, you just gotta hold that L, man. Like you gotta hold that fucking L, and you walk that shit down the street. And I think there's gotta be a little bit of that where it's like if I said some crazy shit in the logs, as Trevor said, is this cancel culture or something? If I said some crazy shit 2 weeks ago and that shit gets leaked, like yeah, like I said some crazy shit, and you either grow from it or you learn from it. And I think a lot of the time it's just like, I think at a certain point, I think depending on who you are and how you interact with someone, you have to understand that like, if you say some shit on the internet, there's never a non-0% chance that shit is getting out there, right? You could lose a friendship, you could lose a relationship, and in those, couple of moments where the anger is heated, your shit's out there, right? So it's like be the person you want to be both publicly and privately, and then if that were to ever happen, you're fine, right? Because you're the same person you're proud of regardless, and that's it,
Yeah, for sure. And I want to talk about like what we think these streamers will do, whether they will grow from these things or whether they should just disappear for the rest of their existences. But first,
Sure.
I want to talk about some Twitch business side things, which is obviously the fact that they did put out a statement on gambling and where they sit with it, which you can read it on screen. It's this is all of it. But basically, they're starting to ban some of the big names, some of the very, sponsory right now sites, which is, I think, a benefit for the platform. But I also think that, the fact that it comes from this is probably, like, why didn't we do this in the first place is my first question. Why aren't they taking these actions when it's not, a fire under their ass and something that the big streamers are talking about? It should be your entire community's voice. I think that should have some sway.
Well, we know the answer to that question is that Twitch only did that to get some goodwill before they dropped the news of the splits, right? Like, they literally just did this. And to be fair, maybe they had this lined up, but like, I don't think it's a coincidence that like, they're like, oh, we're going to ban gambling. And then less than 24 hours later, it's like, oh, so we're going to talk to you guys about the splits, that only like maybe like 100 or maybe less than 1,000 partners had, and you guys are never going to get in. Those partners that had it, that you guys only get it for the first 100,000, right? It's like Twitch is very reactionary in the way they do things. And they always try to get ahead of stuff before, whatever else happens, right? I don't disagree about the whole gambling thing. As someone who like has literally watched gambling streams, like I've literally gone to bed, woke up, went to work, came home, streamed myself, went to bed, and Trainwrecks is still streaming spinning slots for like 48 hours live.
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, you know, like you are, and here's the thing, like I'm gonna go with like the very white knight fucking approach with a lot of this stuff. I think like a lot of things are addictions, and I think a lot of the time, all it takes is like that dopium hit in your brain, and you're gonna fucking want to go for it, right? And I think gambling is like one of the worst things that could happen to Twitch. I think these like crypto bullshit, like I hate crypto in general, and I think if you shill for crypto, you have no fucking spine whatsoever. So I'm just gonna say that. But I think like these crypto sites have like the ability to kind of like get you in very quickly and to like, you know, just take all your money like super fucking quick. And so like I'm not gonna lie, it's fun to watch, it's addicting, you know, you see the lights, you see everything kind of like woo, it looks cool, right? But at the end of the day, you're still, you know, you're still kind of poisoning the mind of people who are very impressionable, right? Like to people on the outside, they're gonna look at this and be like, is it really that bad? But like we live in a world where like parasocial activity is like normalized on Twitch TV now, right? Like you could have like 100,000 viewers or 60,000 viewers, and like those people hang off to your every word, right? Like if you have 50,000, maybe fucking 40 of them are hanging off of your every word. They're gonna sign up if you say go sign up to do something, right? It's why these guys get the deals, because you know whatever they're paying Train or X or whatever, they're making 100 times back. And so like when I see these like fucking brain dead meathead takes on Twitter, it's like take a little bit of responsibility for your lives, you fucking beta cucks. It's like, dude, come on, like really, like if this shit wasn't working, would they really sponsor your ass with thousands, hundred thousands, of millions of dollars? Of course not, you fucking idiot. Like it's people who don't want to take responsibility for their own boring dog shit content that they just want to sit there and fucking spin slots because they're uninteresting, they're boring. And for Corinna's case, people only want to watch her because she's nice looking. There is no personality there whatsoever. And I hate these streamers who are absolutely fucking shifting the blame away onto their viewers until the people who are supporting them with the fucking subs and their millions of dollars. Like fuck off. Like just fuck off. Go back to doing your random bullshit. Go back to doing anything else because your shit is over at that point. You know, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, Fellhorn makes a good point. Like, a lot of those kids are going to be, like, minimum age or younger and lying about it to be sat in front of screens and, you know, watch whatever
when you're
the highest streams are, right? Which can be train wreck spinning slots for 48 hours. It can.
Yeah. Like literally nowadays, and I'm not going to totally derail this conversation, but parenting nowadays for a lot of people is giving them an iPad and sitting them in front of a fucking, you know, iPad. I went out to dinner with Amanda the other night, and there was a family beside us, and like instead of kind of like talking to the kids or kind of, you know, just being there interacting with the kids, they have headphones on and they're eating their dinner at a restaurant with an iPad in front of them, right? Like these kids are being brought up on YouTube and live interactions and videos and all sorts of that stuff. These are the people that are going to grow up with serious issues, right? I myself, and I'm not like the most fucking well-adjusted person. I'm more well-adjusted than a lot of Twitch people. I grew up on video games. 10 years old. I was playing online fucking video games, right? If you guys saw me at 10 years old versus now, it's a fucking miracle I'm in the position I'm in now, because I grew up playing video games with like 30 and 40-year-old men hearing some of the most outrageous shit ever. And like if these like streamers or influencers that have no responsibility for the content they put out there, then like why is it the viewer's responsibility to have any sort of self-control over what they do, right? Like have a little responsibility for, you know, what you put out, and also have a little bit, and the viewers and the parents and the people like that should probably have a little responsibility, but it's a symbiotic relationship, you know?
Yeah,
I hate streamers. Sorry, I hate streamers. I do.
Damn.
I hate streamers. I swear to God, I hate them. I hate people who literally are some of the worst individuals on the planet, and like their only claim to fame is that they'll sit there and spin slots and think that's content. I hate them. I'm sorry. I do.
I'm glad.
Hold on, I got a tweet for you guys. What a great tweet from Mizkif. Streamers are all garbage human beings.
I agree.
Facts.
I actually legitimately
right.
agree with Miz. Yeah.
He's right.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
I literally think, I honestly think there's like a lot of good streamers out there, and I've started to kind of find them and actually enjoy their content. But there's a lot of streamers who like literally will like manipulate and like just totally take advantage of their audiences. And I 100% agree that like if anyone were to say like streamers who spend slots are just there to like manipulate and monetize their audience, 100%, yeah. Like gambling is like not a joke. And I don't think people like recognize that. If you're like a millionaire already and you're like losing like millions of dollars, it's fine because you're getting paid. You have 60,000 subs, you have YouTube videos, you have a merch line, you have your sponsorships. Not a big deal, right? But like for people who like are like, fuck, I really need to win here. And you know, they sign up with your creator code, you get that kickback. Like those are the people who are like taking the hit, man. And I sometimes it feels like, and one of the things I hate about streamers the most, like it's never like, so if you ever listen to some bigger streamers, they're never they have somehow manipulated themselves into thinking that like it's not 60,000 people watching. It's the number is just 60,000. There's not actually 60,000 people watching. And because of that, they're able to devoid themselves of the responsibility that you are entertaining and sometimes educating 60,000 people, right? Or even 1,000 people. And there's a lot of responsibility to you on the creator to do that. But instead they look at 60,000 people as $60,000 or $5 per person. And I think that is probably one of the most abhorrent, disgusting things that streamer culture is like normalized, is that like you're not there talking with 60,000 people. You're there to collect a paycheck from 60,000 people. And it's absolutely disgusting. And I think gambling culture has just normalized that to another degree. So fuck them. I'm glad they're getting fucked and they can take their cryptocurrency bullshit and get fucked.
Claps. Yeah, I don't have
We got
much else.
HR going off, and we got Failhorn in the comments going off. This shit right here. We was a little too close to each other, man.
That was, yeah. This doesn't work for me. I don't like this.
But yeah, it's true. It's like that's not just. It's like people don't understand that, right? Like they hear that, oh, it's a cartoon, whatever. No, this is real life shit right there. When you have power, when you have influence, you have that responsibility, and that's terrible to think that people will know the entire, both the movie shortened version and the real quote, and still be like, okay, where's my subs? Where's my subs?
Yeah. Yep.
Give me the subs.
Yep.
I don't really
and
care.
$2 million
what you're thinking
to go
about.
gamble with, please. Give me company. I want. Smile.
Yep. It's crazy, yeah.
I just had to find it real quick. So apparently, I mean, not apparently, but there's a lot of people who are wanting to give up that Twitch streaming life or whatever because just how Twitch is handling this shit like they're trying to. They're handling it bad. I couldn't find a good what you call them. Somebody put on somebody I follow. I think Peach FPS. In my opinion, if you're gonna switch to YouTube like me and want to make money, you gotta actually become a YouTuber, not a streamer.
Yep.
And truthfully speaking, me going from me being nothing but a Twitch streamer at first and going to YouTube and coming back, those are two very different mindsets.
Yeah, speaking of, I have a question for you guys. As people that have both switched from Twitch to YouTube and back, surprisingly, does this, sway you in one direction or the other? Do you guys think that, the streaming site war, does this sway that in the greater scale of things these last 2 weeks at all?
Not for like the average streamer. So like the thing about like the average streamer is that the barrier to entry is like super low, right? So like you just you download OBS, you set your shit up, you hit go live, you're there, right? The problem with like going from like Twitch to YouTube is that like Peach, whoever that is actually 100% right. Your channel just can't be streaming content. It has to be supplemented with videos that are going to grow your channel. Because if you just do streaming content, your channel is never actually going to grow in the way that it needs to grow. Because a lot of the time now, and I could be wrong, so someone can correct me if I'm right, YouTube isn't just recommending streams in the way that they'll recommend your videos, right? So you need an actual avalanche worth of content that is going to be dispersed through the site. People click that video, maybe they like what they see, then they'll click into your stream because of like that notification that's being sent to them or through their sub box, whatever it is. But I've seen a lot of good takes recently from streamers being like, if Twitch doesn't work out for me, I can't just go to YouTube because I don't have the ability or the mindset or the drive to record a video, sit down, edit it, make a thumbnail, put it up, right? Because not everybody is going to be able to do that. Not everyone is going to have the time nor the ability to do that. But everyone can, download OBS and sit on a stream for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours because the barrier is just so much lower.
And I think, and again, I talk about this all the time, and I'm never afraid to talk about the numbers or whatever, because at the end of the day, I'm still trying to make it I'm not gonna say full time thing, but I'm trying to make it to a point where it does sustain itself. But it's all part time stuff. When I went to YouTube, when I was like leaving from the hate race stuff, and I went to YouTube, it took me a very long time to switch from the YouTuber, get on OBS, run my mouth for 2-3 hours, and then do that. And as soon as I kind of started to go to the YouTube mindset, I started to pick up a little bit more speed because I was doing the videos, I was making the short stuff. I was actually starting to temper the way I talk, because I don't like script anything. I don't do anything like that. So it's obviously a little bit harder for me because I do all of the actually bringing it up next. I don't. I'm trying to see. I don't like. I improv a lot of stuff, and it's exactly what just happened right there. If I'd have sat down and made a thought or whatnot, then I probably have a better way of film, forming it. But improv, going into college and doing the action stuff or whatever, improv, I try to get just go based off of it. I'm getting out of that now because you see me saying ums and likes more. I wasn't like that before, but now it's like back into that Twitch thing where I'm running my mouth all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's different mentality. Yeah.
So to bring that back up, we did hear some stuff. Average Siege sent me a few things yesterday because as per usual, we me and him talk like daily to weekly and about stuff, and we talk about the content, the numbers. I always joke with him about how he watches the numbers too much. My man has the YouTube studio open all day. He be at work, it's open up on a second screen type thing. But we talked about it, and it was brought up there. The YouTube was bringing a smaller tier to YouTube partners.
Yep.
And they also making shorts
monetize
that as well.
Greater fun type thing, but a better cut than TikTok, which is really fucking easy to do. Bars less.
True. Now, I feel like YouTube is now, of course, YouTube is not like they're streaming things. They said discoverability is still bad and that. But if you're going to go do YouTube stuff and you're going to go make YouTube videos, short form, long form, medium form, things of that nature, and you're going to try to do the evergreen stuff, the newer up and coming type stuff, it's going to start it's not going to be good now. It's not going to be good in the next couple of weeks, but in the next few months to a year, if you are a Twitch streamer that wants to move, YouTube is going to start making it easier for you. Now, if they're down to,
I think it depends on what kind of Twitch streamer you are too, right? So for example, if you're like a game, say you play one game, right? One game only, you probably should already have a YouTube channel dedicated to your coverage of that game, right? If you're someone who plays let's say Chivalry 2, every single day people tune in, that Chivalry 2 shit, right? Your YouTube should already have information about the game, highlights from your shit playing, maybe some, commentary on what you would like to see in the future. There's already should be that set up, because at the end of the day, if you're that dedicated to one game, you should actually have that all set up, right? It's for like anyone like Lejeune, for example, right? If you're looking at Lejeune, he doesn't just stream Avengers, it's a video as well, right? Or if you're someone who's more of a commentary streamer, your shit should already be cut up, right? Like you're going, like, if, for example, if I was a commentary streamer, I would actually cut this up and take every single thing that I've said today and make that a video, right? So it'd be like Highruler reacts to gambling ban, right? And then that whole rant would actually be cut up and it would actually be its own little video, right? And I think the thing is that like streamers right now should actually be doing that. So if you're not just making YouTube content aside from your streams, you actually should be taking your streams and making that into YouTube content. And a lot of the time, and I've actually been really bad on this, I should probably do this myself, it's kind of rich that I'm saying this, is that streamers just don't do that. They don't get into that mindset of like, make your content work for you, and you don't necessarily need to make multiple different contents. You just take what you have and milk it as best you can. And I think there's a lack of that a lot of the time, because, and I think what we get so caught up in, and sometimes, I've seen this within our community, for example, right, or the Avengers community as a whole. Everyone wants to be the one dude who posts the news first, right? They want to be that news guy, right? You don't have to be that news guy. You could just be your dude yourself. Just be yourself and take what you're doing and make that, right? So for example, if I'm streaming a game and I'm ranting about that game, right? Say I'm dying or something and I'm fucking pissed, it's very easy to take that rant, make it a 3-minute video, boom, there's your YouTube video, right? Like people just get so caught up in like, it has to be news videos. It has to be, if people like you, they'll watch your shit. It doesn't have to be like, hey guys, here's the news today. It could just be, I'm fucking mad playing this game. Here's why. It's my rant on stream. Boom. That's a fucking video. And I think streamers have to get into the habit of that, because, who knows what the future holds of like Twitch versus YouTube and the platform streaming wars or whatever. But like at the end of the day, whatever you do, you just fucking have to make sure that you're cushioning whatever blow is coming,
Yeah, I just freaked out because you're so smart. Absolutely. Basically, that, right? Just because someone else has done it before doesn't mean you can't do it exactly. For example, if I were to delve into thirst trap TikTok, which I wouldn't do, but just as an example, I would post that on TikTok, I would post that on Twitter, I'd post that on Instagram, I'd post that on OnlyFans Uncensored, and then it's on every platform, and it's driving place to other platforms, and it's everything feeds into itself, right? So it's just about creating stuff that you like to create and using that to your full advantage by branching out. Absolutely true. You gotta be looking for what the next big thing is, because like for us, it's changing like so fast these days. Like it's TikTok right now. Next year it'll be, who knows, right? Like maybe YouTube Shorts eats it entirely. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, and think about it is, truthfully, like YouTube is probably the biggest video form out there. Period. The more stuff that YouTube does, the more apps they're gonna put in the dirt. Truthfully, I mean, think about it. If you want to watch some, crazy mod stuff from Synchro Spider-Man stuff, or you want to watch Highruler do some Gundam stuff, you're gonna go to YouTube for that, right? But then let's say you're kind of tired of seeing that stuff, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna go hit shorts. You don't have to change this TikTok. You're right there. If especially with the phone, they can literally put, because the way YouTube, what Twitch has their not Twitch, TikTok has their like live streams or whatever. Open up the app. They have subscriptions and library. Subscriptions and library can be put together, and then just based off of that, they put library and subscriptions together right off the bat. Live streams. So now you have everything that those three platforms in one platform, one phone app. Shorts, live streams, things like that. They just open up and throws, the same way that the algorithm throws people like videos to you. It can do the same thing with the streams, because you do the same thing. You do the exact same thing when it comes to your YouTube like streams. You got to get the same tags, the same algorithm tags or whatnot. So it has to be the same thumbnail, all this right there. So it's just longer form, and it will if the other platforms don't stop, like if TikTok don't stop treating their creators like shit and then ban them every few minutes or whatnot, people are going to stop. If Twitch don't stop doing the shit they doing or whatever, it's going to get to the point where people are going to want to continue to do this. People love doing, whether they get paid for it or not. They love doing the content creation stuff. They love being able to share their likes and their just being able to be sociable with people who they wouldn't normally meet outside of content creation. These two live in Canada. I would have never met them without either one of this shit. Never.
True.
True. Just really quick, I have like 2 minutes until I have to go do my FaceTime date call.
Okay.
Is there anything you want me to rant about really quick before I go?
Yeah, I have one final thing, and then we can send off pretty much.
Okay.
XQC, where do you guys see him taking any long-lasting effects from his drama?
No, I think XQC will just kind of continuing on.
Yeah.
I actually think XQC will probably die on stream from old age. Like I actually think like legitimately, I actually think he'll never be able to separate himself away from streaming. For a lot of these guys growing up with streaming, I actually think it's like personally ingrained into like their DNA. So like when I look at like XQC, I actually see like XQC streaming until he's like 70, and like with his diet, I don't know if he gets there. So you know.
Mm-hmm. What about Miz? Do you think Miz will be
So that's the more interesting one. So as far as I know, he actually had to step away from like OTK, and they've hired like a third party legal investigation into all this shit. It's really hard to kind of see where Miz is gonna go. I actually think if there's anyone, it's funny. I'm gonna say this. I actually think Miz is gonna get hurt more than Slick will, which is crazy to think about.
Ooh.
I actually think, yeah, because I think there's more blood in the water for Miz just because he's a bigger streamer. And I think Slick will just kind of fly under the radar. Actually, yeah.
Wow.
So
I hope that's not true. Slick should be deplatformed. But we'll see.
True.
That's crazy. Last one, Slicker. What do you think?
Oh, I think like. So like here's the thing about like Twitch drama. The reason I mentioned my comment about Slick is because Fedmeister is still back around. He's got like 600 viewers, and didn't he do some crazy creepy shit as well? I think and didn't what was the other one too? They used to hang out with Lyric and Shorty, the other Waffle. Didn't he do some crazy creepy shit as well? And like he's back around hanging out with like couple thousand viewers as well. The thing about like a lot of the time on Twitch is that like these streamers they just disappear for a while. They make their viewers miss them, and they'll just come back around. I actually think it's parasocial like activity to like the highest degree, which is why like I imagine like they're gonna go super hard on Miz, and Slick is gonna kind of fly under the radar because one, he's not big, who cares, and the people who do care about him are just gonna want Slick back. There's really not blood in the water towards Slick. There should be, I don't disagree, but like the payoff in going after Slick isn't the payoff in going after Miz, and I think that's the really hard problem. We've kind of normalized on the internet, just really quick, and then I'm gonna go tell Amanda that I wasn't talking about Twitch drama and being parasocial myself. We've actually normalized the streamers just kind of going away for a while and coming back with no repercussions, and I think that's really gross and really disgusting. And I wouldn't see that going away anytime soon. I think that'll just kind of continue on and continue on and continue on, because we've become so attached to these streamers and so attached to these personalities that even if they do some crazy dumb shit, we're so willing to kind of like bring them back into our lives, because a lot of us feel like they're our friends and not just kind of entertainers. In a lot of ways, viewers have become so attached to the person, streamers have become so attached to the dollar value, and because of that, streamers have actually been able to manipulate the viewers and kind of making them think that they're besties, when in reality the streamer's just looking at it going like, ooh, there's $5, you know. All right, I have to go, but thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Of course. All right. I will see you guys later. Bye, chats. Bye. Miss you guys. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
See you.
Okay, hold on. We're shouting him out because he didn't do it. I'm mad at him. He's the worst. Okay, everyone,
He is.
go to twitch.tv. Almost linked the wrong person. That would be awkward. Everybody, please go to twitch.tv/Highruler if you haven't already been there.
All right.
He deserves it.
Now that guy is gone, we can talk bad about him. So that son of a bitch. No. But no.
Yeah.
I will say this: his switch from like completely like rubbernecking from Avengers to whatever the hell he wanted to do is really helping, like really going out for him. Let's really go out.
Mhm.
What was that funny part? Synchro, funny part now.
What funny part?
I don't know.
I don't know, bro. Oh, right, because the funnies that I promised on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, bro. I lied to you, Jay. Sorry, you're here. It worked. Anyway, yeah, that was fun talking about drama, though.
You can sue him, but I don't think you'll get anything but like that green screen behind him. Probably.
You can't have that. That's personal. Unsubscribe. Fair. Anywho, well, go follow Highruler, please. That's really all I have.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to shout out, Slip? Because I feel like
follow Synchro.
touch on everything. God damn it!
Follow us.
No.
Like real,
Yes.
like okay. I say follow us because the simple fact is like, and I know that every creative we've had on this, the ones we've talked in the comments would have been feeling the same type of way. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I appreciate that you guys come here and just listen to us talk or whatnot. In the same token, and it's not you guys. You guys are always supporting what you're about. I'll say this out just in the void. Realistically, you should enjoy Jay's company, right? I got this. Give me a second.
Where's this going?
There shouldn't be much discrepancy between when he's playing Avengers, Dreamlight, or something Lego. If you want him to enjoy what he's doing, and you want Lejeune to enjoy what he's doing, you want Highruler, Synchro, me to enjoy what we're doing, even Artie. We would appreciate that you now, if it's a game that you completely hate, okay, I get it. I hate League. But if it's something that you've not really tried, or you don't know like something about or whatever, help us out. You feel me? Help us out. And the reason why is because we feel really scared doing stuff. I was so upset with Avengers yesterday, right? And I'm not even gonna lie and say like we don't normally talk about Avengers here, but at this point I'm not. Whatever, I don't care.
I didn't do a chat. It wasn't me.
Yeah, it's normally never me, so this time is me. I have always felt that the few times that I did, the view, like the subs that I did get and the views that I did get or whatever, were from Avengers, even though I didn't do a lot of it. And I always got discouraged about the stuff, even though it's the same person, the same thing, and it's a different game. Now, if you love those games, cool. But help us and discover something new with us, because a lot of time we're discovering stuff new. It's not like we're doing this stuff going from we're discovering new stuff. And I think the best thing about the content creation like journey to me personally is discovering new stuff with people, and learning stuff with people and helping them learn stuff. And I think we all need to get back to that, because the big streamers are going to be making you gamble and shit,
Yeah, just to like, I guess, piggyback on the back of what you're saying. The way that I look at content creation is doing the things that I want to do and hoping other people find value or enjoyment out of those things. And if you don't, that's cool. I get it. I'm not the most entertaining individual on the planet. There's other people to go watch. I'm not lying. But also, if you want to ride it out with me, if you want to hang out with me, doing whatever, playing Elden Ring for an absurd amount of times for no reasons. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate you humbling me. Then yeah, I'd love that. And I like it when people hang out with me and stuff. And there will be content coming and stuff. And also, I don't know if I'm going to play this game on stream yet, but I have this cat game. I'm excited about it. And that's cute. Go sell meat and go-kart shirts.
Wait,
do I look like an insurance man today? No,
So wait, you went to go buy the cat game?
I've ordered it from Bezos. I'll admit it. It's a Bezos delivery.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this week, real quick before we sign out, this week, what are you doing this week?
Me? I have not decided. I have so much content on the burner that I need to create. There will be an art stream with my girlfriend at some point. There will be a stream over the weekend. No, that's not true. I'm doing a session 0 for the October 1st actual one shot that will be in the Ultra Unleashed universe on this Saturday. So I don't know what the actual content will be, but lots of stuff in the works, and it will be eventually shown. I promise. Smile.
All right. I
takes
was
off.
gonna do Thursday and Friday division, but I'm probably gonna do Friday and Saturday division. And tomorrow I'm gonna actually sit down and see what I can do good for you guys. You know, see what I can do for just content in general. Because at the end of the day, it's all about y'all. I want to make sure that I can, whenever, anytime you click my name, you know, you can enjoy what you enjoy it. Sorry, Jay, I didn't make you laugh. I'm sorry. I knew it was coming. So, okay. Speaking of that, Sunday, do you wanna pick up with that time we didn't get a chance to do last Sunday or whatever?
I'll try to be up before 3 p.m. this time. Yeah. Let's see.
I
if
wasn't
we
up, so we both dropped the ball on that one. So,
Yeah. We'll try.
more than likely it will be. More than likely it will be. I got the jet now too, sir. So we'll be riding
Let's
around
go.
the jet.
That's exciting. Very cool.
All right. Otherwise, guys, shout out to Lejeune. Mouse click, but there you go, right there. Shout out to Lejeune, J Shock Blast, everybody. Shout out to all you guys, because you guys are the reason why we do this stuff. Love you guys,
True.
and we're gonna be out of here. We'll see you guys either next Wednesday or for me tomorrow. I said tomorrow, Friday.
Mm-hmm. We'll see you Sunday at the latest.
Exactly, guys. Exactly. Homies of Asgard, though, we will see you guys next Wednesday.
Yes.
See you guys later.
What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doom Killer HD. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. And this time around, it's Snip and Synchro. Let's go! You can't stop. Synchro and Slipshock. You rocking with the homies of Asgard. You can't stop. Synchro and Slipshock. You rocking with the homies of Asgard. You can't stop. Synchro and Slipshock. You rocking with the homies of Asgard. You can't stop. Synchro and Slipshock. You rocking with the homies of Asgard.